Well, Jobi, big day for the manager, a big day for you as well, up against your old club.
Yeah, definitely. It's always fun playing against a former team. Obviously, coming up so soon after I left is obviously nice. But at the end of the day, we need to get a result regardless of who it's against, and that's the main aim. I
think we're expecting quite a frosty relationship between Watford and Brendan Rodgers this weekend. How do you think the fans will respond to you?
Never know, really. It's sort of gone away from a nice round of applause, and I've had a bit of stick off my old clubs there the last few times I've played them, so whatever the case, you just kind of get on with it, and just whatever will be really.
Will you enjoy the day against your old club if you're involved?
Yeah, definitely. I always enjoy playing against my old club, so I'm desperate to be involved at some stage. It's obviously up to the gaffer how involved that'll be, if at all. So, obviously if I am, I'll be delighted to be out there.
And you're back to fitness now as well. It ran out with the reserve. So, first time in a Reading shirt. How much did you enjoy your first appearance?
Yeah, good. To be fair, I haven't had too much bad luck with injuries over the last few years, and that's probably the longest spell I've had out. Actually, it's about a month, just over a month. So it was just good to get back out there. Obviously on the pitch as well. That was obviously nice, and we had a good performance and a good win. So enjoyed it.
Obviously the results haven't gone Reading's way over the last few weeks. What's the feeling amongst the camp? Are you feeling the pressure yet?
Not really. It's still obviously something we're aware of. We know we have to put, especially the home form. We need to get some wins on the board at home. The mood's been good. We're trying to keep it sort of upbeat. There's no point sort of going into our shells this early in the season. We've got to just step up to the plate really and start performing.
We were saying the script's written for Brendan Rodgers for a win against Watford. It's written for you to score the winning goal as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Hopefully that's as I say, written down, and I'll be able to contribute to a victory. But I'll just be glad to get out there at any stage of the game, and the main thing is we get a win.
Thanks, Jobi.
No worries.
Do you feel you've got any kind of point to prove to Watford fans or anyone at the club?
No, not really. Sort of had a bit of an indifferent time there, but I definitely had a good spell sort of towards the end of last year under Brendan. Previous to that was probably a little bit up and down due to various factors. But at the end of the day, I think I did as well as I could under the circumstances, really.
And obviously you've moved around to quite a few clubs now. How much are you looking forward to just settling down here and just...
Yeah, it's weird. I've moved about, I think the last couple of clubs I've been at for 2 years, and in football terms it's a hell of a long time, so obviously I've signed here for free, and I'd like to obviously stay. Setup's great, the boys are great, obviously I get on well with the manager, so from that point of view, it'd be nice to obviously see myself staying here for a foreseeable future.
Brendan Rodgers has been coming under a bit of pressure from the fans at the moment. Do you think that's right, or do you think they're kind of a bit of a knee-jerk reaction from some of them?
It's difficult to say really. From obviously the fans' perspective, they want to see us doing well. So does the manager, so do all the players. At the end of the day, they're paying their money to come in, and I'm one of these that if they want to say what they want to say, it's up to them really. So we've got to be big enough to take whatever criticism comes our way. Obviously we haven't had a great start, we're all aware of that, and as I say, it's up to us to put it right. No one else can do it. The fans can't, they can just come and support us. But what I will say is obviously the more support we get off the pitch, the better that'll be for us on the pitch.
How big effect does that have on the squad as a whole when fans are kind of getting on their backs and stuff like that, is it?
Yeah, I think particularly when things aren't going great, it can become a bit of an issue, but as I said, I think particularly with some of the younger lads, I've been around, you mentioned I've been at a few clubs, and it's one of those things you just have to deal with as a player. So hopefully I can sort of help some of the younger lads, if they're sort of being affected by it a little bit more, because maybe they haven't experienced that before. Obviously it's been a successful time for the club really the last few years, and it's about obviously managing those times when it's not going so well to turn that around and turn it into a positive situation.
Realistically, where do you see Reading finishing? What do you think? What's the potential of this squad?
Potentially, I've said obviously one of the reasons I came here is to get promoted. I'm not going to come here just to sit around. I'm sure it's the same with the manager and the other players, and obviously the lads that have been here before. They've played in the Premier League. Even last year, really, obviously should have got promoted. It's similar to myself at Watford the year before. So we've got to be looking at the top of the table. At the end of the day, obviously the teams up there, the top 3 or 4 are kind of pulling away, but always, you know, the playoffs has got to be a realistic aim of ours. You put a decent run together, you know, I've experienced it, you know, you're going to be up in the mix, so, you know, it's got to be our aim.
Been any texts or phone calls from any of the lads at Watford yet?
I've had a few, yeah, I'm sure. Obviously with me not sure whether I'm involved or playing, it's been good really, because I haven't had too much to. They're flying, so, you know, full credit to them. So it'll be a tough game, but I'm sure the next couple of days there'll be a few little texts to see if, you know, people are going to be involved and stuff like that.
Where do you see their main threats coming from?
Well, Danny Graham's done really well for them. Obviously I played with him a few games, and to me he just looks like, you know, he's a natural goal scorer. He nicks a goal out of nothing really sometimes. I'm not sure whether Hyder's going to be fit. Obviously he's come on and done well for him. They're just generally a very solid team. That's one of obviously Malky's traits, really. He's come in and made them really hard to beat and solid, and you know, we're going to have to obviously work hard to break them down.
Cool. Cheers.
You said your form picked up at Watford when Brendan arrived. What is it about Brendan then that had an impact on you?
I think just generally allowing me to go and sort of express myself, really. You know, obviously being an attacking player, you need a certain amount of licence to go and do that, you know, to create goals and score goals. You know, you have to have a bit of freedom, and you know, he obviously gave that to not just myself but the rest of the boys. Obviously we picked up and had a great run really after Christmas, and you know, just getting back to enjoying football. You know, seems like such a simple thing, but you know, whatever job you're doing, if you're enjoying it, you're going to be productive. So I feel that was probably the biggest factor for me.
And when you arrived here, was the training similar to what Brendan did at Watford? Yeah,
definitely. It's you know, in terms of coaching wise, he's definitely up there with, you know, the best I've worked with, and you know, the boys are really enjoying the training methods, and I think that's something that is a bit different to what some of the lads have been used to, so that takes a little time to get used to, and you know, I'm sure once everyone's sort of, you know, really into it and used to the training, then you'll see the results on the pitch.
Just lastly, how do you do the gate passing?
I didn't do it actually. I was a bit of a protective, few dodgy drivers I heard, so I didn't want to get a whack in the back and get injured, so I just sat that out till next time.
Ron Bertram fancied himself beforehand. See how he did? Or?
Yeah, I think he won it actually.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He was up there, so it was a bit debatable though. I think Noel Hunt should have said he was winning it, but you know, there you go. But no, apparently it was a good day, so decent.